he left. I'm still healing. Healing.
Welcome to the latest episode number 4 of the Essex Charity eSports podcast. Once again, I am eSports manager John, aka King of 2012, and I'm joined, as always, by the amazing, my vice captain, Mr. Larry. Larry, how are you today?
I'm good, and you?
Good. Yeah, I'm good. Bit of holiday blues, but let's get back into the swing of things. I've missed the podcast dearly, so I'm glad to be back, get this started before I head off to work. But
Yes, so have I.
let's get straight into it. What have I missed?
Oh boy, I think, because obviously while you've been away, and I think you have seen this a couple of times through this, Activision. Oh boy, Activision.
Our good friends.
Yeah, more news.
Brilliant.
More news, and even worse at this time.
Of course.
One being that they literally, I think it was only about last week, they got another lawsuit coming up to them from, I think it was the SC something or other. If I just have a quick look for it, because they did quickly settle that one very fast, because I think they had so many to worry about. I think they were like, okay, we'll settle this outside. If I can find it, was the SC something or other. I can't find the name. I think it was like some another location, but they basically settled it outside of court for 18 million.
Nice.
To anyone that's been on that. Yeah. However, anyone who decides not to want that money, they will give it to charities for women in the gaming industry.
Okay.
Which is okay. But before that, they've got even more. It got more serious. Oh no, here we are. It's from the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
Jeez.
Yeah, they've. But before that, they got even worse. It got worse because Bobby Kotick, who's the CEO of Activision Blizzard, has now been given a subpoena.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is new level.
Oh.
He's been subpoenaed.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, it's I mean, I would say this is the first of its kind. I have never heard of of someone getting sorted. I don't know. My theory is for it is because there's this rumor that they may or may not have basically shredded documents.
Oh, wow.
I mean, as I say, it's only rumored and alleged, and that's I'm hunching why, because obviously if you're subpoenaed, you have to obviously show up to court, and also any documents that have been told, can you bring these along? And if you obviously don't bring them, then there's serious action against them.
Of course.
I'm trying to see if I can double, because I don't know, because I'm trying to find. Yeah, he's got multiple subpoenas.
Jesus.
I think it is literally. I don't know when the date is, but it's mainly for the shredding. I'm suspecting it's for the shredding documents. Probably possibilities, which who knows if it's true or not.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's true, then obviously that is extremely bad. But yeah, I think the subpoena kind of shows just how serious that everything is. And I was just looking through our little my DMs from you, and literally everything is. This is now happening. Yeah. Like they're being sued, and now you've got 3 government groups looking into them and suing them.
Yeah.
And then obviously the settlement. It's just, when's it going to end? I mean, obviously there's good reason for this all going on, and there's good reason for Activision getting looked into and getting sued and everything like that. But you just think, okay, it's Monday morning. What's going to happen next? And you think, okay, what am I going to wake up to Tuesday morning? What have Activision been up to now? And it's like, what is the end point of this? What is going to happen?
I'm very intrigued, and I would say to anyone who wants to keep an up-to-date, Kotaku has done a very good article where they've literally gone, okay, this is what's happened since it's first come out, which I think was around June, July.
Yeah.
And it's just kept on going and going. And in all my time, I have heard of allegations, as I've said this many times. I've seen these many of time, these coming up. not to this standard, this quickly, and to this length of state. I mean, subpoenas have never come out to anything on this level.
It's,
I mean,
yeah,
ever.
crazy.
I mean, partly probably because the states have never got involved, and it's just been, journalists have been given these backhanded. Because I know Kotaku, or the journalist who used to work at Kotaku now works at Bloomberg, I think probably got some of these. And I know Stephanie Sterling has had like allegations sent to them
Yeah.
because of like, obviously they are a very trusted and very, I mean, they put their very much trustworthy like point. They don't batter their words.
No, of course.
But I think this Activision case, I think I said this before. If this, I mean, for the way it's going down, this is serious, and I think this is going to be the start of many.
Yeah, I think we touched on this last time, didn't we? About who else is going to be dragged into it.
But with now the subpoenas, I think I can safely now say I think companies are now terrified.
Yeah, 100%.
Because of the subpoena. Because I know names have cropped up. I know like a lot of them are American based, and I know more will come out now. If they know that the states are now looking into this, and if a group of them, and I know that I think possibly, I don't know if they're going to be able to. Who was the one? It was not Take-Two. Who was the one that used to make the Wolf Among Us and the Stranger Things and the Walking Dead games?
It was. Give me 2 seconds. Telltale. That's the one.
Yeah, Telltale Games. Yeah, I have a feeling. Because I know they're technically not around anymore, but who knows? I mean, I know there was a lot of allegations behind those at that time.
Yeah,
I mean, they might crop up again. They might somehow crop up and probably try and get some conversation from the state over that. But I mean, even I'm going, I don't know. I really don't know.
It's certainly an eye opener, isn't it? Because as we touched on before, it's kind of one of them things that where it's in the background, you don't really think about it too much, but it's very much not in the background anymore. It's very much forefront of like gaming news. And with the amount of news stories coming out day after day, and it's not weekly, it is becoming a daily occurrence of more Activision Blizzard lawsuits and settling out of court, stuff like that. Eventually, game companies from across the globe, more and more are going to be pulled into this. And I've got a really bad feeling about it. I really do.
No, I would say I will say mostly, I think the only ones I know about are the ones in America. There was a couple in Japan, but they have changed their state quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because I think Japan were like known for the very game crunching style, and it was like really brutal at the time. I've heard like with Sega and Konami, but it was the Japan side, not like the UK US side. Yeah. And obviously got the one in Singapore, which I haven't heard anything since. Just want to give them an update on that. I haven't heard anything since that. Probably because it's all been probably kept quiet. Hush. But I mean, I mean the story. I mean, it was obviously last year we had stories from Ubisoft. I mean, we've had stories I think from Activision. We've had stories from Naughty Dog. We've had Riot. We've had obviously Activision, Telltale. I mean, loads. I mean, I've heard so many stories of different companies. I mean, there's even indies, like small little indie companies that have got into trouble.
See, that one, it's going to sound really bad. That one, like, when you hear of little indie companies come out, it doesn't massively surprise me because it's kind of a case of, well, they're a small company. They're going to do what they feel is right. And I think it comes to the point where they're not so small, but where they're not in the spotlight as much as these massive companies like Activision Blizzard. It's one of them things where they think, oh, well, we'll probably slip under the radar and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
now,
I don't think many have.
Yeah, now I think anyone and everyone, no matter how big or small these companies are, they're going to get dragged through the dirt now.
Yeah, no, I know, because I think obviously there was the one in Sweden I talked about. That I know about, and I don't know. I think it was not the company, but it was the creator of a certain, like, I think it was designs and stuff. But Skullgirls got into trouble. I know.
Yeah, I vaguely remember something like that.
Yeah, remember that one. But I mean, the indies. I think I would say most times indie developers are a lot more safer.
Yeah.
Than like the AAA, but I wouldn't say always. I mean, I don't want to say and then find out like a load more. But obviously, the stories you might hear most of the time are the AAA ones.
The thing is now as well, you've got obviously Activision have just settled out of court. And this
That's
isn't going to be
one of many.
Exactly. It's not going to be a one-off thing. There's going to be plenty more. And you look at big companies like that, they can afford to do that. Whereas, all right, it still doesn't give them a positive limelight. It still makes them, well, I say makes them look dodgy. They are dodgy. They're doing dodgy things. It's going to make them look dodgy.
Oh, yeah.
But,
and they do all sorts of stuff around loopholes. And
yeah.
but
Big companies like this, they've got big lawyers they can work with. They can figure out the loopholes. Worst case scenario, they'll settle out of court like they have. But these little indie companies, they can't afford to do that. So, all right, is it going to have a massive, massive impact on the gaming world? No. It's going to have an impact.
It could be the start.
But yeah, this is it. And you just know that this isn't going to be the end of it. When they're done with Activision Blizzard, they're going to target everyone else.
No, agree. But I think one thing I do before we go into our next story is if like everything about Bobby Kotick, so obviously Bobby Kotick's the CEO and everything, and obviously he's got the subpoena.
Yeah.
If everything keeps going down, and I think obviously depending on what goes as a SEMA, do you think this will be the time that he actually loses his like whole status? Like, and basically he has to leave Activision Blizzard.
I think if this isn't it, then
What
regardless,
can we do?
Yeah, exactly. I think regardless, he's got to set down. I think no matter if they settle with everyone, or even if look at the negativity that this is putting on Activision.
I mean, the stock is plummeting,
and it's only going to get worse.
Oh yeah, quite. Yes.
So I feel it's got to be his time to go, isn't it?
Oh no, I think everyone's been like that, and I know Stephanie Sterling has always never liked him. So
yeah, and this paints a picture why.
Yeah, I mean the stories I hear of Bobby Kotick and the way he does stuff, like from doing stuff with tax and stuff, it's quite interesting.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, but it's interesting. But on to the next story before we get even more bleak and depressing is as we spoke about last week about China with the 1 hour, there has been some more rules that have been put into place over monthly spending on games.
Okay.
Which is if you're under 15, you can only spend $31 a month. If you're under 18, you can only spend $61 a month. Now,
okay.
I mean, for the 15th, it's a problem.
Yeah,
18th, I think it's doable. It's doable. But no, I think it's a lot of company. I think a lot of these because they have to be done properly, and I think they have also said like if anyone knows they are spending more to rat on the parents and stuff. There. I mean, obviously that's China for you. But I think a lot of the companies are going. We definitely are not doing that. I think only the Chinese companies are obviously going to be doing that.
Yeah,
because obviously they don't want to get into trouble with the Chinese government if they're owned by the Chinese. So
understandable.
You're cool, but no, I mean, I would just say how bad this is, especially for under 15. $31 a month doesn't even give you a game.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's how. I mean, they basically. I mean, I hope games are quite cheap in China for that, or else they're in seriously screwed territory and they're only allowed to play free-to-play stuff, which, okay, is bearable, but I wouldn't say you get some of the good stuff. You won't be able to play like Rainbow Six Siege or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. But yeah, true. Which they're not going to get away with. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head there with the free-to-play stuff. Yes, it's doable, and yeah, there's some really good free-to-play games out. But for 31, I'll put the shoe on my foot here and think if I was only allowed to spend $31 a month on games, dollars, sorry.
That's 31, the used market.
Yeah. It's just...
And that's still not that cheap because most games now on like PS4, PS5 aren't under 30. And if they're under 30, they're normally really
There's
old
a reason
or
for
a
that.
sports game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
terrible.
As well as Switch games as well. Switch games are renowned for not losing value. So
no, that's because
pre-owned or not.
No, there is a reason for those. It's partly. I mean, there are some cheap ones out there, but you have to know where to look. But with Switch games, it's mainly because they're SD cards.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
Because they don't take up memory. They don't do much. They are very rare. I mean, like especially if you're going for the like super rare games or limited run, they are really expensive, and they really don't lose money. They normally gain money
Yeah.
over that time. So yeah, no, I would say Switch is bad, but I don't think Switch is actually in China that much. I think it's mainly Xbox and PC and
Okay.
PlayStation that are. I don't think Switch is actually massive in China.
Oh,
So I
lucky
would
for
say,
them.
yeah, quite.
Lucky for them if
Sure.
they don't have to spend the money on it. But yeah,
Yeah, no.
it's bad. It's bad. Is it as bad as the 1 hour rule? I don't think so. I mean, they're not being told they're not
I
allowed
like
to
the
spend
idea.
any money, but yeah,
I
I
like the
idea.
idea. It's just, I think the way they've done it is a bit too much.
Yeah, that's it. I like the idea. It's the implementation of the idea that I'm not hot on.
Yeah, because it's going to be like, because there could be a way around it. I mean, obviously, I know they can't, because or else they can get serious trouble, which in China will be serious trouble. But I think it depends. I don't know what the exact ruling is. If it's on microtransactions only, is it full games? Is it, can the parents technically sometimes get them, or is it? I don't know. This is still questions, but I think as you can see, it's growing, and I mean, you can see like, I mean, again, is this going to affect Hong Kong? I hope not.
Well, yeah.
Because I mean, they technically have an Overwatch team, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, I've read something about this very recently, and I can't remember where it was, about how is this going to have an effect on their esports.
They won't have any.
Well, yeah, basically, long story short.
I mean, all the players are going to be like so behind everyone else. They're never going to. Yeah, no, they do have a team. They do have a team.
The only thing is it going to be a case of, and I very highly doubt it, but is there going to be some sort of exception where, look at, for example, when the whole COVID, like, not laws, when the whole COVID ruling come out, when it very first got to a global pandemic state, and it was, right, you can't play football, but if you're in elite status, then the rules don't apply to you. Now, I highly doubt they're going to do anything like that in China. Where
I was going to say, this is China you're talking about.
Exactly.
Unlikely. Very unlikely. I mean, they compared it to opium.
Gaming. Yeah, I saw that. I thought, what? Why?
I know it's
Okay.
I mean, then again, I mean, well, everyone knows. I mean, I think I want to talk about. Maybe we do this next the next podcast. We talk about banned video games, because trust me, I have so many interesting stories about China video games on that side. Trust me, we're talking about this next week.
They love banning video games.
Oh no, there are more countries that love it, and I mean, I've heard some ridiculous stuff in time.
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, we're talking about this next week. Anyway.
But yeah, no, I don't. Obviously, if there's going to be any light on it, that would be it about our esports guys going to get the elite treatment. But then again, it's China, so no.
I mean, I think most of the elite lot are over 18, so I think it's just.
Yeah, I suppose they've got to be.
But the problem is obviously now they're fine. It's going to be the next generation that are the problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you think anyone wanting to get into esports, one, they're going to have to wait until they're 18. Two, they can't even prepare to get into esports. Like over here, like I think you have to be minimum 16.
It's starting to come back, because obviously we've got like stadiums now in the UK coming up. Obviously, people making their own teams, and obviously, I mean, America, we are way behind the Americans and the Koreans and the Japanese.
What's new?
Yeah, but no, we are starting. I mean, yeah, I would say against that, we are going to be able to quicker. I think also it's anyone who wants, because there is an Overwatch team in Hong Kong, and if they are behind the same rules, nobody will want to play in that league, because they're probably going to have the same problems.
Yeah, of course. So I think,
and also for the whole Blitzchung incident, but that's something for another day.
The moral of that story is, if we can get an Overwatch team and we can play the Chinese Overwatch team, we should be fine, because we can practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. It's a horrible situation, because I put myself in that mindset where if that was to happen over here, I'd be distraught. You know, video games.
Oh, if that happened here, I think there would be uproar.
100%.
Because a lot of the community, there's a huge thing in the UK about video games and like the whole history of it. Because there's books on it, and I'll talk about this in another episode about books and video games and stuff. And there are reasons behind it. I mean, some of the best companies are in the UK.
Yeah, that's
if you think about it. Some of the best ones in the UK. I mean, a lot of them in America, but some of the best ones are in the UK.
And I think, again, look at what we've just been through for the last year and a half, 2 years. We've been in lockdown. What have we been allowed to do apart from, play video games? That's been our release.
Not much.
That's been our what do you call it? Our socialization with our friends is, do you want to get online? Well, yeah, we can't do anything else. We can't go out. So let's get online. And that becomes your release. So if it was to now come over here, whereas, right, okay, you can only play video games for an hour, it'd be like, well, no, okay, we're not going to do that.
I mean, admittedly, it won't affect us because we're over 18. But I would say, if they brought like a ruling in for the youngsters, I would be absolutely happy with that. I would be absolutely fine with it, personally.
Yeah, I could go on Call of Duty and not be called a fag.
Yeah, the kids, because you don't want kids like getting addicted to that at a very early age, or getting or maybe like limiting like online time. Because seriously, if you're playing certain games, seriously, you do not want the mics on.
No,
you just want everything muted off. Like, or maybe just go into games with solo mode, like Fortnite or other kind of solo games or Paladins or something, where they don't have to listen to, I don't know, screaming 12-year-olds and all that.
Telling them the things they're going to do to my mum, which, quite frankly, is disgusting.
And language you're thinking shouldn't be a thing for a 12-year-old. And immediately, most in America as well. But
Jesus, I think I spoke like that when I was 12. I think my mum would backhand me.
Yeah, I mean, I think nearly every single British mum would.
But yeah, I think at that age there's positives to it. But again, it's the whole China doing things the China way, and it's the implementation of what they're doing that's wrong.
And the way they've done it, how quickly it was done, and why they've done it, and all of that. It's just
it kind of come out of like, it wasn't even, over here you'd get, okay, this is what Boris Johnson's planning to do, and then this is how it's going to happen, say in 6 months' time when Boris Johnson announces something. Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, we're doing this, and that's it. Yeah, it was kind of like, all right, well, cheers for the warning, China, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's like, get it 2 examples. When Xbox were planning on upping the price of Xbox Gold, and when Sony were planning on shutting down the PlayStation 3 Vita, and I think the PSP servers for the storefront, they were like, okay, as of this date, blah, 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 we're shutting down, blah, 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 or upping the price. And everyone was going, no, you're not. And then it went, okay, no, we're not.
No, we're not. That was it. And it was kind of, okay. And that's a good thing. That is a company not announcing something, but testing the waters. And then everyone coming out and saying, that's a horrible idea. Don't do that. And then a company goes, nah, we're not going to do that. And it's like, okay, brilliant.
Then again, you say that, then there's YouTube, they'll say, oh, we're going to do that. And we go, please don't. And they still do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay, please don't. Okay, we're still going to do that because we can do what we want.
Yeah, that's bad. But no, I can give an example of that. Yeah, anyway, let's get into the more interesting, because obviously this is Black History Month.
It is.
And there was something I thought I would mention this guy, because I only found out about this guy last year from a YouTube video, and I recommend anyone to watch the video because it is really well done, from Slopes Games Room.
Yeah.
And he talked about this guy called Jerry Lawson. Now, I know a lot of people going, who is he and why is he important to the whole gaming and Black History Month? Well, simply, he is probably one of the biggest and probably most important people for pretty much like bringing in an item that was also to be still be used today. And I'll give you a little bit about him. Basically, he works at a company who made a console. Actually, no, it's a company called Fairchild Semiconductor.
Yeah.
Which was in the 70s. And obviously he's worked there many years. And during that time, the company bought out a console called the Fairchannel F. Now, the Fairchannel F never is actually one of the most talked about consoles as a whole, I think, outside of like really gaming people and like people who look up the history, because it is not that easy to find. Not many people remember it. And it wasn't a popular console at that time because it was during the 83 games crash. Not 83, the Pong crash.
Yeah.
In the early days. But the controls were really nice. They had this really cool thing where it's like a joystick, and you could twist it. You can do it left and right, up and down, and press it down, for certain things. And obviously it came with Pong because it was that period. However, Jerry Lawson came up with an idea, and that was to sell the cartridges, like game cartridges, separately, which means he was the first person ever, or pretty much made it the bigging thing, of video game cartridges, CDs, and everything that still used to this day.
Yeah.
I mean,
he
that's
started that.
bonkers.
He started the. I don't know how you really call it, but yeah, he started the whole separating games from consoles.
Like, and basically maybe selling the console at a loss and selling the cartridges as a profit.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I think they cost about $30, I think, a cartridge at the time, and he numbered them very cleverly. He numbered them.
Okay.
So you could tell which ones you were missing and all sorts. And there were so many different types. Like there was like poker ones and tic-tac-toe math quests and all sorts of bits. But yeah, I mean, this guy, I think, only got really recognized until a lot later in his life.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like one guy I think it was a guy, I think, was like at a convention and he was there and it's like, oh, and then looks up the name and he just like stood still and going, oh my word, this guy is so important, like, yet no one knows about him.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was like, even I was kind of like, when I heard about this, I was thinking, when I heard the fake channel, I was like, okay. And then I heard he was the guy that came up with that. I was like, oh my word. And I was just like, I did the video game history when I was in like over 10 years ago, and I only learned about it about 10 years later.
Yeah.
It's just mad. But I mean, what a guy, and I really have to congratulate the guy for what he's done for the game industry. I mean, even though he passed away in 2011, but he was such an important person, and I think obviously what then Atari 2600 did, the NES, the Genesis, the PlayStation, everything now is still using his kind of idea.
Yeah, exactly. He pioneered the whole let's sell the game separate. That is him. So
yeah,
his legacy, I think it's fair to say, although many people may not know it, and I didn't know until you mentioned it before we recorded the first podcast. I didn't know about him.
No,
but yeah, his legacy will literally live on forever.
No, I think they are starting to, to put stuff out. Because, I mean, obviously he's not the guy who created the consoles and made like the first ever and all of that. But
no,
he's up there with the pioneers. He's absolutely up there with the pioneers. Like, he's up there with Nolan Bushnell and Ralph Baer. He's up there with those guys.
Yeah, very rightly so as well. I mean, what a guy. Like, to do such what seems like a simple idea, and look how far it has grown. Like, look at the legacy that is left behind. So, yeah, I think it's certainly a name that deserves a lot more praise, a lot more attention. And yeah, what a great way, to kick off Black History Month than to recognize probably the biggest pioneer of video games, like to pioneer the video game cartridge. And as you say, it's something that lives on now, will live on in the future.
You'd hope.
Yeah, we can only hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a guy.
No, quite. But before we get to the fun stuff, because I know you've just put this into the chat, because we do this over Zoom, that I haven't heard this, because I've heard of another one that was rumored for Super Smash Bros. As the final character. You say there's rumors of Master Chief. I've been hearing Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more. That's more the likely outcome. But I've just seen, like, through the night, Master Chief's trending on Twitter, and I was like, oh, okay, it's obviously close to the Halo, blah blah blah, but it's all around Smash Bros. And about Master Chief's going to be the final fight.
I mean, I know they have a good partnership. I don't think it's that good a partnership.
I can't see it. I really can't. If it happens, then Jesus, what a way to sign off. But yeah, I can't see it happening. No, I
know there are other characters that I would love. I mean, obviously, I would love to see like Professor Layton, and I know there are other characters people want in that game, but I don't know many. But I think obviously Professor Layton's probably one of my favorite ones I would love to see. But I think I've heard Kingdom Hearts. I know there was another name that kept being mentioned. but I've forgotten who it was. It might be Conker, but from Conker's Bad Fur Day, but I don't know.
Oh, that'd be so good.
I
That
mean, to be
would be
honest,
so good.
actually, no. Speaking of which, actually, because we should probably mention this because we had the Nintendo event. Thinking about it,
Yes, we did.
because there were some really good announcements. There was showing off the new Splatoon 3. There's an a la carte race coming in. Not that one. Not Mario
Not
Kart
the one
9,
you
no,
think it's going to be.
Yeah. No, although I think it was like some Final Fantasy one. I'm not really into that, but they are very popular. But the one that surprised me as a racing one was Wreckfest, which is I don't know how that's going to work because that's a demolition derby game with I don't know, massive collision and stuff. I mean, how that's going to run, I hope it's better than like I don't know WWE 2K18 when they put that switch. That was terrible.
If it's worse, then fair play to them for getting it that wrong. But yeah, it's got to be.
I'll be honest, that game it's got to be better. But I mean, from the looks, it looks okay. So I can't see. They might have had to limit the AI in that, but
yeah,
I can't imagine that's gonna. That was a game that was announced, but the main story, I think there were some other bits, but I don't remember. The main bit was when they announced, "Oh, we're doing an expansion for the online pass."
Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah, it was basically they're adding the N64,
Yeah,
and then out of the blue and out of nowhere, the Sega Genesis / Sega Mega Drive, if you're in the UK,
amazing.
Europe, which I must admit I'm really excited about, especially for the N64 stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they've announced like a load of games. Obviously, going to put a load of rare games on. Obviously, they're not putting them on day one. I mean, there's like Banjo-Kazooie going on there. There's going to be Perfect Dark in there. Obviously, the other Banjo Tooie. Obviously, I think it's of course going to be in there as well at some point. And there's like a load of others. Obviously, there's like Mario Kart, Mario 64, because obviously they've already put Mario 64 on the console.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean and there's also like a load of Sega Genesis games. Obviously, like Sonic 2. I don't know why they're not put like some of the other ones, and I hope they put some CD games and 3D 2X games on there as well, because it's definitely playable. But,
you know what I want to see on there? Now that this whole Sega Genesis thing, I want to see the very limited library of the Sega Saturn go on there. I don't know why, because when I think of the Sega Saturn,
I mean,
nothing screams
there were,
out.
I think, some okay, but I mean, mainly Sega CD, because I would love to see Sonic CD on there.
Yeah.
But I would also say, if they're going to do Sega stuff, they've got, I mean, would they put the Dreamcast stuff on there?
Well, who thought that the N64 would ever go on there? I know it was heavily
I think there were
rumoured at
rumors.
one
There were so
point.
many rumors, and they've already did the emulation last year for Mario 35th anniversary, which was stupid anyway, because why make a game that is physically limited and then take off and then...
Oh, how annoyed would you be now if you went and bought that and now it's just going to be free to play with your Nintendo Online?
Well, no, it's expansion. I mean, I got the game physically. I mean, the game's going to hold value because it's technically rare. But no, I mean, I just hope they don't ridiculously up it, because I think it's about 20 quid a year with the SNES and the NES. So I'm hoping about 30, 35 with the 64 and the Genesis.
I hope not. But yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing, is to see what the price increase is going to be.
No, quite. But no, and also, what are the games they haven't announced going on there? Because I hope Conker's Bad Fur Day. However, I am very well aware that Conker's Bad Fur Day is the most unchild-friendly game out there, but it's personally my favorite game that Rare made on the N64 bar Perfect Dark, and the one that obviously has had still a lot of talking points is GoldenEye 64.
Yeah, that. Ooh.
Because this is the thing about, and I should explain the whole GoldenEye 64 thing, because no one actually knows who owns the right for that. Because I think there was this situation that when Rare got bought by Xbox, they were making a remaster of GoldenEye 64 for the Xbox Arcade at the time, and then it was suddenly cancelled and everything because Nintendo told them no, you couldn't do it.
Okay.
Yet I don't know who owns the right to that, because it could be MGM, it could be Nintendo. That's why I think it's still this kind of sort of. I think some people want to put it on the N64 collection. Some people don't want to put it on because of the whole
just in case
situation.
of the whole legal things.
No, it's not only that. It's a legal thing. It's just how annoyed. Like, hang on, you stop them putting it on Xbox, yet you're okay putting it on your own console. Okay, fine, but
Yeah, true.
I would love to see GoldenEye 64. I'm a massive James Bond fan, and I'm obviously looking forward to the new James Bond game that is being made by the people at Hitman team.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I have played the original N64 version of GoldenEye, and even I can't it's just a brilliant game that changed the world of like first-person shooters at its time. I mean, I've played Perfect Dark. I mean, obviously, it's basically a James Bond 2 just without the name.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've played a lot of James Bond games, but and that's, I mean, obviously, that's something we could probably talk about later, maybe next week or something as well, about James Bond games and all of that. But no, I think there is so much potential for the N64 stuff and the Genesis, and hopefully this could be the start of adding more. Like, hopefully we get the GameCube, because I would love to see GameCube go on there, so we get like Wind Waker,
Oh,
Melee.
massively, yeah, that'd be amazing.
I mean, Melee and a couple of others. I mean, will they do Wii? I don't know. I would love to see Wii, but I doubt we will.
Yeah, I can't see it. I don't know. I want to say I can't see them going that far, but you never know at the minute.
I think the problem is it's the shovelware that is on the Wii. I mean, trust me, I'm going to talk about a company in coming up episodes about one company, because the whole thing's mind-boggling.
Excellent.
And it's terrifying. And I will talk about this in another episode about one company. And I mean, there are many videos on this, and it is mind-boggling to think about and it shows how bad it was on the Wii at the time.
Yeah.
And what I mean shovelware, and I do mean shovelware on the Wii, was implement beyond belief. It was as bad as DS. It was ridiculously bad on DS as well, but not to the levels of poorness as the Wii stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what do you think would be the price for the Game Pass? Like for
You know what? I'd like to think in my heart of hearts that they're not going to put it up, but of course they are. So
no, they have said it. They are putting up. They have said it.
Obviously, it's just not ideal. I personally don't want to see it go above 25, because it's great that they've got the games that you can play with having your Nintendo Online subscription. But if we're being honest, what else do they really offer apart from that? I mean,
no, but it could be that's the start, and then they'll add GameCube. They're gonna add maybe Sega Saturn. They might add the Dreamcast.
Yeah, if that's the case, then fine. Like, put it up. Do what you need to. Don't go stupid with it. Don't go to Xbox Live level prices.
50 quid a year.
Yeah,
I mean, no,
that's a stretch.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But if that's what they need to do, put the prices up. If they come out tomorrow and said, right, we're going to increase your Nintendo Online subscription to £30 a year, but by the end of next year, we're going to bring out GameCube included as well.
Yeah.
Then I think, okay, go for it. I think anything above that is a bit extreme for what you actually get. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see what the next step is. I mean, we've not even got to this step yet. It's been announced, which brilliant. Can't wait for it. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see what they do now on top of this.
No, quite. I mean, the only other thing I would say before we head on to our final bit we're going to talk about, is, do you think they'll put the original Super Smash on there? Or do you think they might do wait? And I think because the problem is nobody really likes the original. I think a lot of people still play Melee, and there's the whole debacle over the whole thing on that, because I know companies still like to use it, but companies, they like to use a system where they use online with a mod system, but Nintendo don't like that. And I know there's a whole cease and desist situation on that, and a tournament and all of that. So yeah, I know how big the GameCube was, and I hope if they do that, they do put the GameCube version on there.
I think if we're gonna see any retro version of Smash Bros, it's gonna be the GameCube. I think that's where we'll get it. Yeah, possibly.
I mean, I would love to see Brawl, but who knows? But now on to the final story, because we don't have any questions this week. No one sent them in, but please send them in onto our Discord, Twitter, wherever, WhatsApp,
wherever you can find somewhere to type a question. Send it in.
Comments,
pigeon.
even
We'll take it there.
yeah, comment. Yeah, pigeon. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Just get us. Thank you. Even the- oh, yeah, with Ryan Reynolds in it, which obviously a good time to talk about video game movies. I mean, as well as obviously movies that have been turned into video games that have been turned into movies. Because there has been the whole thing of not being great, have they? Or but there are some great ones out there.
Yeah, it's a rarity that you get a video game movie that's good. There are definitely some out there, but yeah, it's certainly a rarity.
Like the ones what I think of, all the ones I have watched that are good are the Need for Speed one,
Yep.
the Tomb Raider reboot. I want to make that clear. The reboot, not the Angelina Jolie version. I'm not a bigger fan of that. But I mean, that's still a good movie. Hang on, which other ones was there? There's the Mortal Kombat, both the original and the new one. That's really good. And there was another one. I know there was another one that was meant to be all right, but I can't remember it was. But it'll probably come back to me in a minute. But I think, I mean, obviously, I mean, oh no, there is the Ratchet and Clank one. That was, I think, a lot of people are like, it's okay, but it just feels like a very long cutscene that just never ends, sort of thing.
You know what? I've not seen it yet, but I've heard all about it.
I've heard about it, but I've never watched it. I mean, the ones I have watched, I mean, I have watched some terrible, terrible ones.
Yep.
Like, I've watched the Street Fighter movie. Seriously, I was hitting myself on the table on that one. I was thinking, why?
You know what? A very unpopular opinion. I enjoyed it because I didn't watch it seriously. So I watched it.
Yeah,
kind of
I think if you don't watch it for it, you watch it for the laughs. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible, but it's one of those ones. It's terrible, but you want to watch it because it's so poor.
It's kind of like when you see a car crash and you're like, oh, I don't want to see that. But as you're going past it, you look because you're intrigued. I kind of watched a Street Fighter movie like that. And I watched it knowing that if I try and take this movie seriously, I'm not going to enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah, very interesting.
There were some big names in there as well. So it was like Kylie Minogue in there.
Yeah,
There was
what? How?
And who's? Yeah, I mean that was pretty shocking. But I know then he had that guy. I don't know his name, the guy's name, but I know he does. He did advertising. Like, I think it was a kickboxer, wasn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Who was it?
It's I can see his face. Why is his name? Oh, what's his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's not Jean-Claude. Is that Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused. Oh no, I'm getting confused with Rob Van Damme. Which
that would have made it such a better movie.
Actually, no, he would. That would have been such a better movie. But no, and also there's that other Street Fighter movie that's even worse. So it didn't need one. But no, and I've watched the infamous Super Mario movie, which even I'm going, why? Just why?
I want to watch it again. I really want to watch it again, and I don't know why.
I mean, to anyone who has no idea, they were like, hang on, they made a movie about Super Mario, and I'm not talking about the one that's just been announced with like Jack Black in it and Chris Hemsworth as the voice of Mario. Why they're putting Chris Hemsworth as the voice of Mario, I don't know. But they made a real life action version of the Mario Bros, which is like a big no-no for a starter, and it was a complete and utter car crash. It's just awful. Oh, it's just disgraceful what they did. It's just terrible. I mean, and there's the Doom movie, which is, I mean, had Dwayne Johnson in it, and even he's made jokes about that. I mean, I've only watched it recently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a horror movie than it's more like Doom 3 than a Doom 1 or 2. It's more horror-based, slow-paced horror, so Doom 3 style. But there's only, I mean, most of it's horrid. I have to admit, most of it's horrid. However, there is one bit that, I mean, it's only because I've played the more recent ones. They make it look like that, like with the chainsaw and all the way, and that reminds me of that game. I was like, okay, that's fine. I like that. But obviously, at the time, it would have been terrible. I mean, it's the only bit that actually probably looked cool. But the rest of it was rubbish. I mean, it's just awful.
Indeed.
I mean, even Dwayne admits it was a terrible movie.
Yeah, definitely.
But then there's like I mean, I know there's like the Far Cry movie that was awful, but then again, the director's famous for making video game movies and then making them terrible.
Yep.
And then there's obviously also been the Max Payne one that was a bit mixed. There was the two Hitman ones that have had mixed reviews. I mean, There was Dead or Alive. I remember that, and that was just. I would never want to watch that.
No, not in a million.
No, I mean it's just. There's only one person I recognise that, and I still wouldn't want to watch it because I know what Dead or Alive is about, and it should be about that, but it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's it's not great. I mean, I would say, I mean, no, because I mean there are other great. I mean, there's the one I always remember because I know some people remember they did the Final Fantasy movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was one I remember watching years ago. With I think it's the Phantom one. I can't remember. I don't know what they called it. Where they had like these orange phantom things that if you touch them, they basically kill you on like one shot. I remember watching that. I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool. Not knowing it was a Final Fantasy movie. Admittedly, I was young, quite young, and didn't really know of the Final Fantasy series and the whole movie series, or else I would have gone, well, this is terrible. But then again, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy person either.
No, that's it.
But no, because I mean, there are some. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some really good movies. Like there's the obviously Free Guys, as I said, Mortal Kombat, both versions, not the sequel. Don't go and watch I think it was Mortal Kombat Renegade or whatever it was, Renaissance or something, because it was a bit. They messed that one up, and I'm hoping with the next Mortal Kombat movie, they do better than the first time. I mean, the only mistake they did with this one was not having Johnny Cage. Seriously, Johnny Cage is boring.
Yeah,
you don't
how?
put him into the second. It was a stupid idea. Anyway, then there's there's Wreck-It Ralph. That was really good. I mean, that's
loved Wreck-It Ralph.
I mean, the amount of Easter eggs for a game, it's like ridiculous. It's brilliant. Yeah. And then there's like Ready Player One. I love that one.
Yeah, that was quite a good movie.
And then there's one. I don't know if you've ever watched it. I recommend anyone to watch it because it's a really fascinating movie, and it's called Indie. I think it was called Indie Games or Indie Developers.
I know the movie. I've not watched it. I haven't seen it.
It's such a worth. I mean, I've watched it a couple of times, and I just love watching it.
Yeah,
it's such a good movie. It's basically about they follow 3 developers. One game that's in the middle of about to get a game released. One that is in the middle of making the game and is then made infamous from the movie. And then the one who's like very famous and then like who made a game and then talking about his time. So you had one which was Super Meat made by me at the time.
Yeah,
and I mean, which was they had the what was his name? Was it Jonathan Blow? The guy who made Braid?
Yeah.
Braid, and then obviously made Witness. He was in that. And then there's the infamous and legendary Phil Fish.
Yeah.
Who made Fez and then went. I mean, you can tell how much he was affected by this game. I mean, anyone who's seen it and knows of the whole history of what happened to Fez 2 and him being like, he's basically gone MIA and cancelled Fez 2 from ever being released.
Yeah.
And you can see that in that game, in this movie. I mean, how much, like, stuff is... I mean, I can't say what he said on this because it would probably get the video demonetized and probably gets taken down for what he said. I mean, he nearly lost his father. He was getting sued by his ex-worker he had. I mean,
jeez.
The game was taking yonks. He was getting trolled badly at the time, which then got worse.
Yeah.
When he was mentioned in Phase 2, and then there's the whole infamous thing, I think, with the journalist that then led him to basically then cancel Phase 2 and then run, and then that's all we know. I mean, they have now obviously made Phase on the PlayStation as well now, but they've never really released it. I mean, I have watched other movies as well, but I mean, that one's always been one of my favorites. I mean, I've also like recorded other stuff, but that indie movie's worth a read, and I would not read or watch, definitely.
Yeah, I do. I haven't seen it yet, I must admit, but yeah, I definitely need to watch it.
No, definitely. I mean, the only other one I have, because I have kept one, there are a load of video game movies I have, but there is one I do own and I wish I haven't got, and that's Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I'm quite thankful I've not seen that either.
Good. No, because I'm a massive fan of the original Prince of Persia game.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I'm not talking about the OG one. I'm talking about the PS2 one, Sands of Time.
Yeah.
The one that everyone started playing. And I must admit, I was a big fan of that, and I loved that game. And I've played, like, obviously the Forgotten Sands version. I've played the sequel after Forgotten Sands on PlayStation 2. I can't remember what that was called either, but I quite enjoyed it at the time. And it is nothing like, it just made me rage because I was thinking they did not keep to the story of what it was. At the time, they were trying to make it kid friendly, and they took out like without, I don't want to give anything away from the game because it's so good. But like the Zan zombies gone, they didn't exist. You couldn't, which means that because the dagger basically made you go back in time, but you couldn't use that. I only used it about 2-3 times in the whole movie because, unsurprisingly, because there was none of that, you couldn't use it at all. Which means it was just pointless watching. I mean, obviously they kept the villain as the same, and probably some of the other characters, but apart from that, it just felt name only. Really?
Yeah, it was kind of it. It felt like, from what I've read about it, it kind of feels like they played the game, they just finished playing it, and it was like, you know what, this would be a good base for a film, and then that was their beginning and end idea with the film.
Yeah, no, quite. I mean, there's obviously what's your favorite video movie you've watched?
Put me on the spot. Oh, that's a difficult one, you know. I must admit, I really enjoyed the Mortal Kombat movie.
Well, the most recent one.
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
I do want to watch that.
I'm trying to think. Obviously, one that isn't so much based on the games, but shares the title with the game is all the Resident Evil films, which...
Yeah. I mean, those are actually one of the few. I mean, if you don't think of them as the movie, then they're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, when you start to watch them as a standalone film.
Same with the Final Fantasy movie. I think it's actually, if you don't think of it as that, it's fine.
I
think a lot of this, you have to say, if you're not a gamer, you're fine.
Yeah, if you haven't played any of the games and you're just seeing, like, you're watching a film and you see a trailer for the new Resident Evil film, or you see a trailer for Max Payne, something like that, and you think, oh, wow, that looks like a pretty cool film.
Yeah,
and that's the only, that's the only, like,
I think
education you have on it. Then, yeah, brilliant. It's when you go, oh my God, a Resident Evil film, I've played all the games, or, oh my God, Need for Speed, I love the Need for Speed games. That's when you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, I would say to anyone who's thinking about, like, what is Need for Speed movie like, because obviously I'm the massive gamer and a massive Need for Speed fan. I mean, there are bits you could tell, okay, that's from that game. But obviously, it's more of, like, the car chases and the, like, everything. It's so good. As a car fan, it's brilliant. If you're a gamer, I mean, you can see snippets, but I would say if you just don't think of it as a video game, it's fine. It's just name by only, but they do show, like, bits. Like, there's a bit, like, you could say it's from, like, Rivals. There's a bit you could probably say that is like The Run. There's bits like from Carbon or Underground. There's obviously they show Pro Street in the actual video game, but the music's good. The actors are amazing in it, and and the cars are just brilliant. I mean, you have a gear of Bugatti, Sparrows, and a load of other cars. It's brilliant. But no, I mean, the Wreck-It Ralph one, I would say, like, I want to watch it still because I know, I mean, it's like the same style as the most recent reboot. But I would say, I think to a lot of people, it's a good movie. Just don't think of it as the video game, because obviously you're just thinking, where am I getting into the game? Where am I getting into the game? Because it just looks so similar. It's off-putting, but it's still a very humorous and great game. You just got to think of it as not the game. Just think of it as
you've got to think of it as a standalone film.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the Assassin's Creed movie, which I've also watched, which was poor.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
I know, because I must admit, anyone who was thinking about please don't, because it's going to annoy you, because only, I think it was like 30 to 20% of it is actually in the Animus.
I wouldn't even go as far as to say it's that much. It's horrid.
In the Animus, which is the main thing about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, well, what's the... Yeah, no, it's so slow-paced. It was so slow-paced.
So I had the mispleasure of actually paying to watch that in the cinema.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I've never been to the cinema. And, you know, you see it on telly all the time where people go and watch a film and they're like, oh, that film was awful. I'm going to demand my money back. I've never been like that because I've paid to go and watch a film not knowing how good or bad it's going to be. I've paid to go to watch a film because I want to go and watch it.
Yeah.
That is probably the only film I've ever been to the cinema to watch and think, you know what? I want my money back. That was awful.
Did you?
No, but in my head, I wanted to so bad.
I mean, I have heard if you actually walk out of the movie and you don't watch only like a couple of it, they can technically give you refund to watch any movie, and you can watch something else instead.
I wish I had. I would have happily taken the first 5 minutes, walked out, and if they was repainting the walls, I would have rather have watched that.
Oh, God.
That film was awful.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's not great. I mean, then again, like there's the Uncharted movie. Finally, looks like it's actually going to be made after like 10 years, like being rumored.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, they've got Tom Holland in it, which I have to be honest, I think he could be really good.
I think so.
I know, like, oh, he's too young or he's British. I'm like, actually, he's very humorous.
Yeah.
You need someone who's humorous to play Nathan Drake.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. Because, I mean, obviously, I know there's that fan-made one that exists. That's really, I've watched, and he's really good.
I was going to say, yeah, for a fan-made film, it's actually really good.
No, there was that one, and obviously there's the new Last of Us, which they've just finally shown off bits of movie of,
Yeah.
which looks amazing. Which
I mean,
I've got actually some really good names. There's the one guy who's in from Uncle Kingsman 2.
yeah.
He's really good. And then they've got the girl who was in Judy. I've also heard she wasn't the one in Witcher. She was also in The Worst Witch in the UK. I mean, and I must be honest, she will play. I hope she plays that as good as I think she could. Because
Yeah.
I must be honest, I'm a super fan of Last of Us, and I think it will look amazing if they get that right.
That's it, and I think that's going to be a case of, again, it's if they get it right, if they follow the game. If you go and watch it as a standalone film, it'll probably be good. But because we're gamers, we're not going to do that. We're going
to like, oh no, that's bit's wrong. That bit,
yeah,
why is that?
Hang on, you've not followed the game, but you've released it as the video the film of the video game. So
I would say with Last of Us, I wouldn't mind. I would let that slide if they do a really good story, if that is actually sort of follows the storyline of the video game, but not completely makes it.
I think
longer,
if they follow the base of it,
like that.
If they follow the base of the story but branch off a bit, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
But it's when they just go, oh, look, this is Last of Us.
The way I would want them to be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not voice-wise, because obviously that would be just stupid, but keep this kind of attitude, like Ellen's kind of adult, kind of sweary, kind of bad girl style edginess.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I love. Absolutely love, because I think you love that character because of it. And then get Joel's kind of more family man, sort of bleak, depressing, kind of still has that kind of dark side of that incident at the beginning, because I really don't want to give that away. Because man, did I cry at that. Man, did I cry.
Yeah, it's
like one of the... I mean, I hope they do that beginning bit.
Well, yeah.
I would hope so, but then again, I think a lot of people say, can you not do that beginning bit? Because it was so perfectly done and everything.
I think if they're a fan of the game, then they're not going to try and attempt it because of how spot on it had to be, and how spot on it would have to be.
I mean, that's why Neil Druckmann got that director's job for the second game, because it was just perfect. I mean, like, to anyone who wants to watch it, I recommend watching the retro replay version, because if anyone doesn't know what retro replay was a thing that Nolan North and Troy Baker, who now left the company, did as a side thing.
Yeah.
And they did the first 3 Uncharted games. In that, and they had like some people come over, like explaining all their bits and stuff, and have some like the best lines in it. And I mean, obviously they both played it, but Nolan never played Last of Us, so he had not really seen the story. I mean, he's in it, but he never really was playing characters in it. I think he only did the bit and never really played the game, and had never seen that beginning bit. So he was like, okay, you play it as like, because you've never played it, play it. And they brought the first 2 people in that game. Obviously Troy was in it, and the other person that's in it, without giving too much away of it. And even then, they still get teary-eyed over it. And you just see Nolan just going, oh my word, just like in shock of what happened. Because I think he had no idea, and just how brutal that and how dark that beginning is. But it's just sets the tone of that whole movie and the character, and it's just. I've played that game so many times now, and I still get just so emotional over that beginning because it is for me one of the most perfect games to have ever been produced.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I was going to say, I think the only word I could think of to describe it is perfect.
And that's hard to do for a video game.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think another game comes close to it.
God of War?
Ooh, yes. Yeah, but then I don't think there's a part. Yeah, God of War, don't get me wrong, is probably one of my favorite reboots of, or I say reboot, but it's probably one of my favorite games of all time. Especially when they took the original series and thought, right, let's do it for PS4 now, and blew me away with it.
And I mean, I played a lot of that. I've never owned it. I played it on a kind of like a lock-in. And I played a lot, and I understand that graphically, story-wise, it's beautiful.
100%.
I don't know why I would never own it. I don't know if it's just because I don't like God of War as a game because it's too gruesome, or Greek mythology is just not me. I don't know. I love the story. I just can't get into the game. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I played hours of it.
Yeah, owning the game, I think I owned it because, and I'll be honest, the hype around it before I'd even played it. And
it was right,
and
obviously the hype is right.
Yeah,
although
I wouldn't go on a limb and say it's a perfect game.
No,
but don't get me wrong, it's probably
close.
one of my favorite games that I've played, and I've spent hours on without even thinking about it. But
although I personally love the second name for it, God of Boy, which I personally, I think anyone understands that. Probably has seen how it's basically he just keeps saying boy all the time. It's literally all he says. I mean, it even came into jokes. They got him in for the National Game Awards that year. And you just hear him just literally waiting, but he just tells the kid, "Go read it, boy." And it's just brilliant. I mean, obviously the only other game I could say, there's only two other games I would say is either near perfect or perfect, and that's Skyrim and Doom 2016.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's about it. I mean, that's how good Last of Us is. I mean, like, before we probably end, we should probably ask about what do you think about the acting roles for the new Mario movie?
You know what? I don't hate it at all. I'm intrigued.
No, same.
The Mario decision's a bit
stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the problem is everyone's going, because I think the problem is Mario's so iconic, he has to have an Italian accent. The problem is, I don't think he could do an Italian accent.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. Yeah, I don't think that he's the right cast. But again, he might really blow it away. He might really blow us away. But
I mean, Jack Black. I think everyone most of it was poor. Jack Black, perfect. I think
100%. 100%.
I mean, Jack Black. Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong, again, I think he's going to be interesting.
The thing that I don't quite understand, and have they probably done it on name value alone? Yes. But
oh god, yeah.
Charles Martinet is actually going to be involved in the film.
Who we should say is the voice of Mario, Luigi, Mario Bowser?
I believe so.
Like, he's basically like the voice of the Mario universe.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's going to be involved, and yet he's not going to voice Mario.
Yeah, I think that was the annoying thing. I mean,
yeah,
obviously,
that's the bit that I'm a bit annoyed about.
I mean, there are some really good. I think it was like Kevin Richardson is in there. I mean, the one that I know I really like to see. I mean, maybe not he's probably in the wrong role, and that's Keegan Key.
I was just going to say that. That was literally on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, I don't get that casting. Yeah, bit of a weird one.
Yeah.
But, But yeah, the one annoying thing to me that stands out is that they've definitely cast Chris Pratt because he's Chris Pratt. But don't have Charles Martinet involved in the film and not have him voice Mario.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know
that one just stands out as a weird one.
I mean, like the other one. I mean, like this. Anna Tyler Joy, I think her name is. I mean, I
Yeah.
know she's in the movie. I mean, I don't think I've actually seen it in any movies I've watched. I know she's a pretty big
Yeah, this is it. I
actor.
recognise the name, but I
And
couldn't
I-
say, oh, that's the lady from this film. Because I don't have a clue what she's been in.
Yeah,
I was
trying
having
to-
a
I'm
quick
trying to-
look. Oh, she was
I know she's in like pretty big stuff.
in The
Oh,
Witch.
Split. New Mutants.
Oh, of course she was.
Queen's Gambit. Glass. Oh, she's in Mad Max.
How did I not reckon?
Playmobil. Cool.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of big things.
Yeah.
Jesus, she's only 25. I did not know that.
And Vampire Academy, which I didn't know.
But
No,
yeah,
I mean-
it's a very big named cast.
Yeah.
I think Jack Black as Bowser is perfect. I think
Yeah, it's probably like the only thing they've actually gone, okay, yeah, that's right. I know and then obviously Keegan Keys, brilliant. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Peel as well,
yeah.
but
I think Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong's going to be interesting.
yeah, I hope we hear the laugh. That's all I want to hear. Is just the laugh.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's some very big names in the film, which has already got a lot of eyes on it. But the one negative that I don't think is going to change my mind, and I don't think it's going to change once the film comes out, is having Charles Martinet involved in the film and not voicing Mario. That's just
No,
a big
I agree.
no. Do not
Yeah,
agree
no,
with
it's
that, but
It is. No, I do probably have to agree with that. It's sort of that kind of area of like why having it, but then again, I know they do like I did it with a lot of movies. You know, you do it with the Marvels. You know, you always have Stan Lee in a movie. Obviously, he now passed away, but and then obviously when they did which movie was it? A Beautiful A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and they had some of the original people from that in a
yeah.
scene. But I mean, I think, but that's different because obviously they're not like the voicing. I mean, obviously Stan Lee's the creator of literally Marvel as itself,
Yeah.
and then obviously with I think the voice acting, I know there have been times when they've put them in movies or very little snippet bits. I think it's when it's the harder, but then you go, oh my god, he's in the movie kind of thing. But then again, announcing that, I think if they kept that hush hush, it would have been more cooler. But
Yeah,
because they
that would have been a
announced,
really
he's
nice
in the
touch.
movie. You're thinking, well, why didn't you use him in anyway then?
Yeah,
It's
I
more,
think if you see
you're
that,
gonna use him, keep him hush hush.
yeah. Yeah, I think if you see that, I think, oh my god, he's in the movie. He's gonna voice Mario. If you didn't know, then yeah, brilliant. But now you know he's in the movie. It's like, well, you've give away his role, so why?
No, it's like no, I can give it. No, it's like when I was like, because I was watched Star Trek. Which one would it have been? 2, 3. I don't know which one it was. They had Star Trek because I remember I was listening to the voice. And go, oh, there's Nolan North in that because obviously I knew the voice. But there's like the one again. It's in Last of Us that if you watch the post-credit scene in it, and you go through the credits, you will notice they all like say, "Oh, Troy Baker's like what's his face." In it, and obviously you have the person who plays Ellie and that, and they'll give the names, and then right at the end they go, "Oh, by the way, Nolan North's in it," and you go, "What? Nolan North's in it?" Kind of, and you're going hunting for who it is, and you find out it's in this bit in the movie, in the game that's quite a bit interesting, I would say. But I mean, obviously, I didn't know that was Nolan North until I think, admittingly, if I didn't watch the video saying, "Oh, what was his best bits in it?" That bit came up. I would have known that was Nolan North in it.
Yeah.
Like that's an example. That's a really good example. If you sometimes keep surprised, you go, "Oh my god, that's a certain voice. I know who that is," and kind of thing. It makes it even better.
Yeah, to quote a wrestling term, it's a nice little pop. It's a nice little, oh my god, that's pretty cool. And then that's it. That's all you think of it because you don't know and you're not expecting to see him. But now, I just don't get it. I can't figure out what he's going to actually do in the film. What is Charles Martinet going to do in the film
I don't know.
now that he's not voicing Mario?
I know. It's just gonna be. I mean, it's like I think, like in a wrestling term, I would say just like the best example is the Darby Allin one. where he
Yeah.
then suddenly just says best in the world, and everyone's going, "Oh my word, I know what that means."
Yeah.
Kind of like that. And you go, "Well, I wasn't expecting that," and then oh my god, that means you know who's coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then going to be bang on, sort of thing. So no, I can imagine. I think if they kept that, they should have kept that hush. They should have kept that hush.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
It'll be interesting though. It'll be interesting to see what role he has in the film.
Yeah.
Because all it's been announced is that he's going to do like a surprise cameo or something like that. Which how can you call it a surprise cameo?
Surprise cameo if you just announced, oh, by the way, he's doing a surprise cameo.
Yeah.
Well, that's not
like,
really a surprise.
That's like me going into work today, or before I go into work and say, oh, by the way, I'm going to come into work today, but it's a surprise. And like, well, it's not. You've just told us. But
yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. It's weird. I'm not happy about it, but the film will hopefully be good, and
better than the other movie.
It has to be, and it kind of puts all doubts to the side.
Yeah,
but only time will tell. I don't think we've got long to wait for that anyway. Just over a year, I believe. I think it's coming out end of next year.
Trailer. That's all I want. I want to see a trailer.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have to wait long for a trailer, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's all I want. Is like when I hear Mary's voice, I'm gonna go, "Yep, I'm gonna watch it," or "No, absolutely not."
Yeah, I think that's it. I think the trailer's gonna
be the hit. If it doesn't hit, no one's gonna watch it, and it'll be one of the biggest failures I think since Super Mario Bros. The movie done in the 80s or whenever it was.
Yeah, and I think you know what it reminds me of when they first announced the Sonic trailer for the new Sonic film.
Yeah.
And
of course, we should mention that. That was, even I remember, I was just screaming for days. Every time I saw it, it was just like, what have they done? And admittedly, they went, yeah, sorry,
we messed up.
And they did. And it's now a really good movie. And I mean,
yeah, that's it. And it was a little decision like that.
Yeah. And then Dr. Egg's brilliant in it as well. I mean, obviously, they brought Jim Carrey. His name is Jim Carrey. Yeah, Jim Carrey in it. I mean, he's perfect for it, and he's brilliant in it. But I mean, that's a really good example. If they get this wrong, they better listen to the fans, or we will let you know, kind of thing.
Well, that's the thing.
We did with Sonic.
That trailer, as you said, I think it's going to be the factor of whether the film flops or whether people are actually going to go and see it.
Yeah.
Because don't bring out a Sonic still that looks like that and expect people to go and watch it.
Yeah, don't make him look human.
No.
Please don't make Mario look human. We've tried that once and it really didn't work. Please don't do that.
It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. What did they think when they looked at that and thought, yeah, that looks fine?
That'd be fine.
Yeah,
the only thing I would say is, have you ever watched the Warp Zone skit on that movie?
No, I haven't, you know.
They basically say the reason they did it was to make it look the original movie, the one we got after, look so much better that the Sonic movie was already pretty poor anyway. They just made it look worse so people go, seriously, at least it's better than that movie. I can't remember they did it brilliantly.
Oh, jeez. Imagine if that was the truth as well.
Who knows?
Awful. Yeah. But yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to hear Mario's voice now. And I think, as you said, that's going to be the make or break for the film right there. This is where they release a trailer and Mario doesn't talk in it.
You're thinking, okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Either, that's clever. Now I need to go and watch the film, or wait, you've given Mario no words in this trailer. Yeah, screw your film.
Yeah, I would say if they don't make him speak, it is a dangerous move. It is that either, because the problem is if you're letting people speak and they go, absolutely not, we don't like the voice, we're not watching it, or we like the voice, we watch it, or if we don't put it in, as you say, it's either, we'll watch it, see what the voice is, or that's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's the thing, is if you're hiding things, you're not really confident of the movie, and I think that's the worrying thing.
Yeah, if you're going to hide that in your trailer, which is meant to draw people in to come and watch your film, you're then going to hide his voice. To me, that's like, you're showing very little confidence in your own film. No, thank you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Time will tell. Hopefully, we'll get a trailer over the next few months, and then we just need to wait for the film at the end of the year.
Yep, agreed.
But yeah, other than that, I think I don't know. Other than that, I can't really think of any other
Video game movies that are coming out. I think there has always been these rumors of other ones. I know there was a Sly Cooper one that got cancelled. I've heard rumors of a Metal Gear one that I've not heard since. I've heard of Metal Gear ones, and obviously
the biggest one, which has kind of been in and out of rumors, more out now than in, is the Gears of War film.
Oh yeah, there was that rumor of a Gears movie. I think. Oh, but I think I don't think that's happening
because it kind of went quiet, and then Gears 5 come out, and it was like, okay, and then all of a sudden, Batista was a big part of Gears 5. And it was like, whoa, hang on, that's got to be because of the film. And then all of a sudden, it never got heard of again. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe they've put Batista in the game because they're not planning to do the film anymore.
Maybe that could be a good theory. I mean, I know also I think the problem is there's always this saying of the curse of video game movies, and everyone's like, well, we will hope this. We don't think it's going to happen like with this one, and it normally does because obviously it's not as good, and obviously they make mistakes. But I think we should say that the Last of Us one isn't actually a movie; it's actually a TV show done by HBO. So I think they
of course it is, yeah. Oh yeah, that doesn't count.
No, I mean, yeah, it doesn't count, but it's probably one of the only TV shows I've ever known being turned into a video game.
Yeah, that's I can't think of
or Sonic.
Yeah, and I think I mean, I know since I was a kid, there's been like an animated Super Mario show like for kids, so I don't really count that.
And then obviously there are like some animes have been turned into movies as well, like games as well. Sorry, some games have been turned into anime stuff. Like there's Phoenix Wright. There was, I think, Kirby's done one.
Yeah,
and obviously there've probably been the other ones that have been done for other video games as well. But no, I think I'm trying to think. Is any movies that apart from that? Probably there's obviously, of course, the Mortal Kombat 2 movie, and I hope they get the character right for that. But I can't actually see. I've heard of any more recent movies coming out. Have you?
No, I think the most, apart from this Mario one, the only other one, which I don't know if it's in production yet or it's just rumored, is Sonic 2.
I think that's rumored.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure
it's probably the same with Mortal Kombat, but the way they ended it, oh no, they're definitely having a sequel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because they haven't got Johnny Cage, and they then hinted, oh yeah, by the way, Johnny Cage coming into the next one. So obviously they're putting Johnny Cage in.
Yeah, apart from that, apart from the Mortal Kombat film, I actually cannot think of a more recent.
Ones?
No, I can't think of a more.
I know
recent...
there are other games that I think have all been like Sony are doing a lot of things like, okay, you can turn this into a movie or TV show. I know they're doing a lot of that.
Yeah,
because I think there has been talks of Horizon Zero Dawn getting one. I think
that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, that'll certainly be an interesting one.
And I think even God of War, I've heard rumors, but
yeah, I'm honestly shocked that never got turned into a film.
I have heard rumors, but I think it's just, and I think I've even heard Days Gone be mentioned.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I must admit.
But I'll be honest, that's just another zombie movie that seriously no one would really give anything about.
No. It's a film that doesn't need to happen.
No.
I think it's just a film where they've gone, oh look, this is a game and it's about zombies. That's an easy film to make.
Yeah, it's just basically name by name only. I mean, the only other thing I would say is technically sort of a movie based on like, I always say based. It's so similar. It's ridiculous. A of a movie, and I think it is. Oh, I think there has been this talk about who actually probably did it first, and that was is the Girl with All the Gifts, which is a book which they've then made into a movie, but it's pretty very similar story, based idea to
Yeah. No, I
Last of
don't know
Us.
that one.
If you read that up, you go, hang on, that's Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I must be honest, that's the nearest thing I would say to anyone who's thinking, oh, maybe if there's a Last of Us movie, that's the nearest thing. But obviously, I'm looking forward to the TV show because they could do that really well as a TV show, and I think it could.
No, I must admit, I don't know that one.
Have a look.
Definitely have to look that. Yeah, other than I'm trying to think now, trying to wrap my brain around what other movie there are based on video game, especially recent. But apart from Mortal Kombat, and obviously you've got your obvious big box office ones like Sonic and Detective Pikachu. Other than that,
I would never call Pikachu a video game.
No,
but
obviously
TV show, wasn't it? Of Ben Castle.
I don't actually know. I know obviously you got Detective Pikachu the film, but
I think there was a game, but
yeah,
which is then voiced by Seth Rogen. Perfect character for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Yeah, that must have been based. I'm pretty sure there was a Detective Pikachu game.
Yeah, but then again, you could say Pikachu was actually a TV series, really. But it's Pokemon. It's that one's difficult to say. I mean, the only ones I can think of recently is Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ratchet and Clank, Free Guys, Ready Player One, and maybe Assassin's Creed, but that was a terrible movie.
Yeah, that movie can live in the bin.
No, seriously, really been that one.
Yeah, other than that, I think that's about it,
Yeah.
As you said about the Dead or Alive film, which...
Dead or Alive? I didn't say... Oh, yeah. Then there's I think, was it... I'm actually suspicious that's made by the same guy that did the Far Cry movie.
Possibly.
Because if it is,
I don't
I'm
actually
not
know that one, but it very possibly could be.
Let me find the guy. Because I know if you look up the director, because it's here's Yul Ball. If his name comes up with anything on video movies, run as fast as you can because they're never good. So if I look through the names of video games, he did House of the Dead, terrible.
Oh yeah, that was bloody awful.
Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, Blood Rain 2, Postal. He made a Postal movie, which we're gonna have to get back into on banned games. You will seriously want to hear about that. They Alone in the Dark 2, Far Cry, Rampage.
Oh god, yeah. How
Blood Rain 3, Reich.
Yeah, some bad films in there.
House of Evil. I mean, who did because I know the Dead or Alive movie. I mean, in other words, he did do the Dead or Alive movie, but boy, did I wish he did.
It probably wouldn't have been any worse.
I mean, the Postal one's probably his crown and joy. I mean, firstly, whose idea we go? Yeah, I'll make that game into a movie. Seriously, the game's so controversial; it's still talked about now.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one, isn't it? Why would you make?
We will talk about this later. We will talk about this in the next podcast. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because we have to now. That because I didn't know, I forgot about that movie because I've heard about that one. Because I know that got controversial at the time, and I think it even got banned in many countries because of what it was. But there's a Tekken movie as well.
Oh god, yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, there's actually two Dead or Alive movies. There's a Dead or Alive in '99, and there's the DOA Dead or Alive, which is the one which we don't talk about.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was one before that.
I didn't know that. It might be just name only, but
yeah.
Oh, there's a Monster Hunter movie as well. Oh god, that went badly wrong as well. I remember that. That was awful as well.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think it was in China or Japan.
Oh my god, there's a Double Dragon film.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Okay, I won't watch that.
Silent Hill. There's Silent Hill, of course.
Oh yeah. Nah.
They were all right. They were all right.
No, I don't know. I watched it twice. I think the first time I watched it and I was like, but I had questions after the first time I watched it. And then when I watched it the second time, my question was, why did I just watch this a second time? It was kind of like,
No,
why?
but there's about, is it 2-3 movies of Silent Hill? I mean, the games are legendary, but I would say the movies are okay. They're not awful, but you can watch them.
Yeah. I think the first one. No, sorry. I think the second Silent Hill movie is made by completely different people, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it might be.
I think it's like a sequel, but in name only.
Yeah.
So I know it's got Sean Bean in it.
Oh, the guy, is that the one that dies in every single movie?
Literally every single movie, yeah.
I mean, they made a joke of that in The Hitman. Like, just showing him every single place he dies in. It's literally like a rule. If he's in it, there's a 90% chance he's going to die in the movie at some point.
Basically.
Most likely.
Yeah. If you see Sean Bean in the film, you know he's not making it to the end of the film.
I mean, the only time I've actually seen him reach the end of the movie maybe is in Silent Hill. I can't remember if he's actually makes that to the end. And National Treasure, which is a great movie.
Yeah, I know he makes it to the end in the first one.
What, Silent Hill?
Yeah, does he make it?
I don't know.
I don't think he survives in the second one.
What,
I'm
with
trying to
Pyramid?
remember.
Because I know he's in The Renegade.
Yeah.
Is that the second or is that the third?
I think that's the third, because you've got obviously the original, you've got Revelation. Yeah, it might be the third. I think Revelation was the second. Oh, I can't remember now. They're all blurring into one. One big. I was going to say one big mess, but actually, I've seen worse films based on video games. Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah, and obviously the Super Mario Bros. Movie and obviously the Street Fighter movie, which is just seriously why. But
yeah,
I think that's the time when you go like, oh, because it's so popular, let's make it into a movie. And then going, did you watch the source material? You go, there was source material kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Some of them, I swear, they just go, oh my God, this is a big video game that we've never played. Let's make a film on it.
Yeah.
Just because they know of the popularity of it.
Do it by name, but I mean, that's why I probably did Doom.
Yeah,
well. But I mean, again, I think that could have been done so well if they didn't mess it up. What did they do? They messed it up.
Yeah, even, it's one of them where I don't think I was big into Assassin's Creed until after I saw the film. I've played the first one
from 3, which I know a lot of people going, seriously, 3 got you into Assassin's Creed. I know. But
I didn't hate number 3 though.
I don't hate 3. No. I think it's a really good game. I
played Assassin's Creed like from the very beginning. I think I actually got Assassin's Creed on release. And then I just didn't play it after that. I'm pretty sure after the first one, I didn't play it until about 6 years ago. And then I picked up 2 and then just got back into the series. But yeah, I played 1. And then when the film came out, I thought, oh, that'll be good. Wrong. But even then, I think if I hadn't played the first one, it wasn't even a good film without knowing the game.
Slow, but I think that's everything. It's not even a movie you can watch not knowing it's a video game. It's because
it's just a
so
bad movie.
Slow pace.
Yeah.
And so white noise and
yeah, don't get me wrong. There's films that take a good 45 minutes to kick in, and you're like, okay, actually, you know what? The build-up seems slow, but it was worth the wait. But Assassin's Creed, you're like an hour in and going, oh, it'll start getting good in a minute, and then the film ends, and you're like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was.
I think that's what a lot of people said. It was like
film.
it got really good at the end. It was like literally the last bit. You think
yeah, I did enjoy the ending where I could actually leave the cinema and I didn't have to watch any more of it. That was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, bad film. Do not ever want to see that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, the Super Mario film should be interesting.
Yep.
But yeah, we just need that trailer. So if they could hurry up and bring that out so we can judge, that'd be great.
Yep.
other than that, I believe that is all we have time for on today's episode.
Yes.
But yeah, we've covered a lot. We've covered some very bad films, which is always nice. Always nice to warn people of what not to watch if they haven't done so already.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I've been John, aka King of 2012. I've been joined by Larry. Larry, thank you once again for another very enjoyable podcast. And we will see and speak to you next week, when I'm sure we'll probably have more Activision Blizzard stories to bring you.
Who knows?
They're probably going to be sued by another 3 or 4 people. And of course, probably be in more trouble as usual. And what will be interesting is hopefully we're going to find out. I think we do. We find out today who the last character is, don't we, in Smash Bros?
I think. Do you know when I think it is? It? No, it's the 8th. I think it is. I think it comes out. I think they announce it.
Okay. I know it's
soon.
Yeah, I know it's soon. I don't know why I've got today in my head. That might be for something else.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, that's for global series registration. That is why. But yeah, that is all we have got time for today. We will speak to you next week. As always, guys, please send in your questions because we love answering them. And honestly, you guys have sent in some really amazing questions in the past. So send them in however you can. Email, Twitter, Anchor, Discord, yeah. If you've got a pigeon, yeah, YouTube is an obvious one. Drop it in the comment section. We see all your comments, so please give us your questions because we just love to answer them. And honestly, some of the questions we've been asked in the past have been amazing. So the more questions you guys send in, the happier we are. I think that's fair to say. Yeah. But other than that, thank you as always for listening. If you're on YouTube, thank you for kind of watching, but listening also.
Listening, yeah.
More to the point. Even if you just put us on in the background while you're doing other things, we appreciate you. But other than that, I hope you're all safe. Well, we love you. We hope you have an amazing day. And we will speak to you next week when Activision Blizzard are in more trouble. Goodbye.